Greetings, everybody. I am the artist, musician, mother, wife, spiritualist, Estrella, usually Divine. And I'm going to talk a little bit about what I'm getting ready to do, which is have a home birth, which I firmly believe in. Women empowering, and men empowering themselves and their family with becoming autonomous and taking full responsibility for the life that they created. As my midwife said, with no audience, and bringing it actually fully into the world that same way. And so it is an interesting subject. Right now I am 37 weeks and 4 days. I have not had any hospital, nurse, midwife, or any kind of care so far except for my own. And within this last week, I've spoken to my beautiful and supportive and helpful midwife who was involved in my last pregnancy with my daughter Ashe Faye. She's now a year old and she's healthy and happy. She was born at home in water. My labor was extremely quick. She came out within 8 minutes. No one was physically here, aside from myself and my husband, Ojai. He delivered the baby. He did a wonderful job. And I did a wonderful job. And that was a success. And we're extremely happy for it. Rashad did show up about 45 minutes after, and she helped us to cut the cord, and she didn't interfere much at all. She just did the weighing and the measuring and the cutting of the cord, or she guided Ojai how to cut the cord. So right now is a new experience. That was a new experience for me. This will be my 4th baby. My first 2 children I had in the hospital. My first Ma'at was born in Alta Bates in Berkeley, and I actually like Alta Bates as a hospital for what it is, I suppose. I'm not too big on hospitals, but Alta Bates is a cool one. I've had many family members come and go there. And my daughter was born there. I was really, really interested in having a natural birth that time, but it didn't go that way. As soon as that pain set in, I was like a junkie. I was like sticking my arm out, like, tie me up, give me some, basically, wherever you gotta put it. And my labor lasted 17 hours, and she was born safely, but it took my mother and Ojai to hold my legs up for me. I could not feel anything from the waist down. I felt very disengaged or uninvolved, and I didn't really experience the birth that I had wanted, but I didn't know what I was supposed to experience either, but it was sort of like a missing out for me. So the second time that I had my son Sire, I had an epidural again, but it wore off. And so again, I was like, oh no, I'm feeling things. Gotta give me some more medicine, more medicine. Pain. And they were like, nope, too late, time to have a baby. And I was like, what? No, no, no. I said I feel things. And they were like, well. And so that experience really taught me, um, and I was actually glad that it happened that way, because by the time it was time for me to actually push my baby out, I felt everything. And it wasn't that bad. I mean, it was bad. It wasn't bad, but it was what it was. And I could handle it, is all I could say. I could handle it. And so the next time that I decided about a birth, my baby was actually telling me that she needed to be in nature. So the first a month or two of my pregnancy, I actually slept outside in a big old tent that I had made in the community garden, or not a tent, but a actual teepee I built in the community garden. And I was fortunate enough in Berkeley to be able to sleep in there until the rats ran me out. So I had to go, but yeah, she was born at home. So this time, I've really gone commando, or, about it, like just straight, no sonograms, no, no vaginal checks, no appointments running to them back and forth, especially at the end of your pregnancy. I don't understand why right when you're getting ready to be due, they want you to come in like once a week. I mean, not once a week, but really often. That just doesn't make any sense. They want you to come in more often than you would have during your whole pregnancy, and it just is ridiculous to me. So I'm not I'm normally a person who has a problem with authority, and I don't like rules, and I don't like regulations, and I don't like to be restrained from doing whatever it is I feel like doing when I feel like doing it, to be honest. And so, although safety is, of course, a major issue, I feel safe. I feel like what I'm doing is the right thing. I feel like birth is extremely natural and sacred and special. I don't feel like my baby needs to be poked or prodded or touched or breathed on. It doesn't need to smell anybody but me and my husband, until I decide otherwise. Honestly, regardless of however it sounds, oh well, that's just how I feel. And that's why we chose to do home birth. So at this point, I feel like my baby is breech, which is going to be interesting to maneuver, having a home birth, unassisted breech, no midwife at all. We have no one standing by at all. And my midwife Rasha, or my friend, Rasha, she's not under our employ at this point, but she's a good person and she's a good friend, and she offered us to be able to call her if we need anything. And I did call her and just go over some last minute stuff about what we might need to be doing. And she did give me a little checklist and gave me some ideas about how to turn my baby around, because after her guiding me to touch my own self, which is just amazing, to feel on my own self and gauge what position that the baby is in, and to my instinct and my knowledge, I feel like the baby is head down. And I usually have babies around 6 pounds, 5 ounces. So she told me that it wasn't too late for my baby to flip. So she gave me some things to do headstands or get in the water and do headstands. These are natural ways to flip a baby without going to a clinic or, having someone actually put their hands and try to flip the baby themselves, a doctor or a practitioner or something like that. Just talk to the baby, she told me. Just talk to the baby frankly and be the mama. Be like, I need you to put your head down and, do some headstands. And there's an ancient Chinese medicine that she suggested called moxa. I believe it has a longer name, moxie or moxa. Um, that you burn it's like an incense stick, and you burn it down by the pinky toe, and the woman has to be extremely relaxed when you do this, and her husband could be the one helping her burn the moxa down by her pinky toe. And there's other things that I've seen also, putting light down by your pelvic bone, down there, by your pelvic area to, excuse me, to get the baby to turn. Babies naturally will move towards the light or the music, I've read. So those are options. And the other option is just to relax, since I am in my last days, and not stress about anything. Know that I can do it, that it's going to be okay, and that breech babies is nothing wrong with them, that I'm not abnormal or anything, that I don't need to have a C-section, that I don't need to do any of those things. I just need to give birth naturally, and it can be done breech or not. So that's where we're at right now, and I'm looking forward, extremely forward, to giving birth, to having the baby here in our little nest at home, and to take you on that little journey with us, as we will be documenting the birth, however it is, breech or not. We have decided that if for some reason it is necessary to go to the hospital, we are going to go to the hospital. It's not a matter of my principles are so strong that I'm willing to risk my baby's life, if not necessary. You understand what I mean? I want to be fully empowered. I want to have my baby at home, but I also want the baby to be okay. You understand? So, if for some reason we see that the baby needs some extra help that we cannot provide, then we will go to the hospital. We live about 10-15 minutes away from a hospital, so that won't be hard to do. But in the meantime, I'm nesting, I'm getting things ready, I'm excited, we're all excited, my other children are excited, my aunt, Sire, and Ashe. They all rub mommy's belly, and they all say they want to see the baby, and they're all very excited. We do not know whether it's a boy or a girl. Only God knows when it's going to actually come. We don't have a due date, per se. But we're just waiting for my body and for this baby and for my psyche and spirit to say, okay. So we look forward to sharing with you again. The birth will be frank, and we will be documenting, and I will be sharing. So I look forward to sharing with you. And so until then, have bliss and love in your heart, and peacefulness, and warrior when you